We have some major breaking news as Hendrick Motorsports has just announced that Cliff Daniels will take over Kevin Meendering as the crew chief of the number 48 Ally Chevy. It's a major announcement. I didn't wake up thinking I would hear this news, but man, interesting timing to do it. Interesting thing to do by Rick Hendrick, but it's a shocker. Obviously, Meendering, this is his first year as the crew chief of Jimmie Johnson. Chad Knaus has been the crew chief for Jimmie's whole career, and now Jimmie has had 2 in 1 year. So obviously, Jimmie in a tough spot in his career. He's had a rough couple of years. Last year was rough. This year has been rough. This year, looking at his numbers and stuff, he's done better, but he is sitting outside the playoffs by 12 points, is yet to win. So obviously, they're trying to make the playoffs. They're fighting for the playoffs. Rick Hendrick must have seen something, and he's like, there needs to be a change made. But here, I'm just going to give you the details, and then we'll go on to some more stuff. But Cliff Daniels, he has been with the 48 team for a while, I think. He was a part of the 2016 championship team. He was the race engineer for that team. He's been on the 48 team since 2014, according to this article, December 2014. And it says here, he moved into Hendrick Motorsports competition systems group following the 2018 season and rejoined as race engineer last month. So he came back to like the team, and then Meendering, he's been the crew chief, and now he is not fired. He's not completely out of Hendrick Motorsports. Meendering is now going to be in a senior competition role, so he's going to be overseeing things, I guess. But Rick Hendrick said, Kevin is a talent. We have areas where he can make a major impact and help all 4 of our teams be successful. Everyone thinks the world of him, and we plan to keep him as a key member of our organization for as long as he wants to be here. So Rick Hendrick obviously thinking very highly of Kevin Meendering, but obviously seeing the 48 team and where they're at, seeing a change to be made, coming at a really important time when the 48 team is trying to make it into the playoffs. Also going to a track where Jimmie Johnson has never won in his career. So going to Watkins Glen. Jimmie Johnson has never won at Watkins Glen. It'll be interesting for the first race as a pair, Cliff Daniels and Jimmie Johnson as a pair, their first race at a track that Johnson has never won at. It'll be interesting to see how that works out for the first couple races. Going to Watkins Glen, then Michigan, then Bristol. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out the first couple races, and if Cliff Daniels really can make an impact on that team with some of his calls, some of his just whatever he calls, whatever. But as for the why is Meendering not doing it, I am not completely sure. This article does not say the reasons, but Jimmie Johnson, statistically, he's done better this year than he did last year, I think. He's got a stage win. He's got a pole this year. He has led more laps than he led all of last year. So he's been doing better, but obviously he sits outside the playoffs, which is not good, and they want to do better than that. I don't know how many points he had last year at this point compared to this year, but he's doing pretty good compared to last year, but it's still bad for Jimmie Johnson's standards. So he has 8 top 10s as well, but I don't see anything that says why Meendering is not a crew chief anymore, but I don't know if it was the chemistry wasn't working between Johnson and Meendering, if one of them wasn't happy, maybe it was just the success on the track that just wasn't working out, and Rick Hendrick said that we need to make a change right now. I'm not sure. I do not know. If you do know, please tell me in the comments. I would love to know why, but part of the quote, Rick Hendrick said that Cliff Daniels, he thinks that he can bring a spark that has been our missing ingredient. So obviously just trying to get something going with that 48 team. All the other teams have seen so much success this year. Chase Elliott, he had a streak of top 5s and a win at Talladega. Alex Bowman had 3 straight second-place finishes and then got his first career win at Chicago. William Byron's been running amazing. He's in the playoffs right now on points. He's been leading some laps. He's got a couple poles. He's been getting top 5. He got his first career top 5. He's got a few top 10s. So they've been running good. And the 48 team has really been the weak link of Hendrick Motorsports. They have gotten top 10s. They have gotten a couple top 5s. They have led laps, but they have not been doing this as much as the other 3 teams. So they have been struggling compared to the other 3 teams. So it's been a struggle for the 48 team the past couple years, but hopefully Cliff Daniels can bring a different aspect of something. Just throw something out there, get them a win, get them some more points. Obviously, last week was a big week for Jimmie Johnson. He got himself a stage win, a very crucial playoff point if he does make the playoffs. Because last year, if he had that playoff point, he would have made it to the round of 12. But obviously a very, very, very big move by Hendrick Motorsports and a very, very, very important time of the year. So I'm interested to see how it works out. I really hope it works out. Jimmie, I want him to do well. I want him to win. I want to see him succeed. But we'll see how it works out this week at Watkins Glen. But man, Watkins Glen should be interesting. We got a storyline going into Watkins Glen now. We'll talk about this more during the race preview, I'm assuming. But big breaking news. So I thought, why not make a video on it? As for this week, I was actually thinking about, I was starting up what I was going to do for today's video. And I saw that just scrolling through Twitter, and then bam, this popped up. So I was like, kind of need to make that. But tomorrow's video, I think I might do a championship favorites video, NBA video about free agency and just why the off season and stuff, and then something else, just some interesting, and then I'll figure everything else out. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a big fat like. Tell me how you think the new duo will do of Cliff Daniels and Jimmie Johnson in the comments. And if you are excited, if you are skeptical, whatever you feel, if you like to subscribe, you should definitely subscribe because it makes me happy and it will be 10 out of 10.